Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. Right now we're going to be taking a look at the Hood's damage pre-buff by himself with the Synergy team, then post-buff by himself with the Synergy team. Now, few things to keep in mind. Obviously, Hood is a Mystic champion, therefore he does have a lot more beneficial matchups if opponents getting buffs, and if you have Mystic Dispersion active, then the results can be significantly different. But I'm doing all of these comparison videos basically against the punching a bag of MCOC in as generic circumstances as possible, and therefore the numbers could potentially be obviously significantly better if you're using him against like the best suited matchup. On top of that, there are no boosts used in any of these videos, and it's the same mastery setup. And I am running Liquid Courage and Double Edge, which, well, for some champions, Hood included, obviously elevates the damage output, but it doesn't really help his health bar. Nonetheless, let's just get to it. So Hood actually does have quite a lot happening on his kit already, and compared to the King Groot and Venom Pool, obviously his damage output was better pre-buff, and also he had a lot more going on for him. In fact, that was the entire reason why this had to be the second time reworking him, because the first buff kind of stripped away several things that Hood was already being used for by plenty of the champions. Sorry, by plenty of summoners. So, he has access to Shock, he has access to Bleed on level 3, he has access to Stagger and Fate Seal, pre-buff as well. Then he has access to his Invisibility. Now, I was initially trying to play in a manner where I would be keeping the Shock active throughout the fight, but it didn't really work out because the shock duration was not quite long enough, and it was extremely tricky to maintain the shock and or bleed on the opponent because they last only like 7.5 and 6 seconds respectively. And Winter Soldier does have quite long special attacks, so I tried it out like 5 or 6 times and it was just not happening. So then I decided to go for level 2s in order to maximize the invisibility uptime, which also increases your damage output. And whenever invisibility is on cooldown, you also get to power steal the opponent if your Hood is awakened, and that significantly kind of like, quickens the pace of the fight. However, without mincing my words, Hood has never been known for his damage output, even in the best of circumstances against the greatest of the matchups that he has, and that shows. So this is a 6-star rank 1 with Recall, Liquid Courage, Double Edge active, and we can see that, it takes a while. It really does take a while. It is 325 hits. 325 hits. So, interestingly enough, against Winter Soldier, Hood's damage output is exactly the same as King Groot's damage output. So, there you go. It's really not good. It's not a compliment. It's not a compliment. And I mean King Groot pre-buff. Because King Groot pre-buff has 6-star rank 1 with identical mastery setups. Took 324 hits. So that was not great. Now here I do have a synergy team of Invisible Woman, which will let me gain power every time I actually phase a hit. Then I also have Strife that increases my attack value for 50% when I am invisible. On top of that, I have Kingpin that increases my invisibility duration. And then on top of it all, I had something else. Forgot. Who did I use on top of that? Either way, we have a ton of bonuses here. Definitely do. And that is quite noticeable. We can see that we are inflicting significantly more damage with fully synced up Hood here. And this is still pre-buff. Right, so we can see that Winter Soldier is going down quicker. The numbers are bigger, especially when I'm invisible. And when I'm not invisible, then I get to steal a whole bunch of power. And we had the synergy where I can place energy vulnerability with my heavy attack on the opponent. I think this one was with... it's kind of killing me. I'm going to check it out in a moment. I genuinely forgot which champion was it with. But here we go. So, it is kind of tricky to align everything perfectly, but ideally I do want to drop my level 2 with energy vulnerability active, thus dealing more damage, and then have as many hits in Winter Soldier with my invisibility active, and also obviously at the same time I want to be missing as many hits as possible in order to gain power quicker. Now, if I don't get too much power whilst I'm invisible, that's not really the biggest deal, because whilst invisibility is on cooldown, I get to steal Winter Soldier's power. So it all actually kind of like works out quite well. So I'm going to go invisible here, and I'm going to drop my level 2 because I still have the 50% attack increase from Strife Synergy. And let's keep on plowing. So I'm not going to show the entire fight as well. It again takes a while still, nonetheless. Right, so I did mess up somewhere along the way, unfortunately, but, you know, we're still winning the health pool battle, barely, but we are winning it. And I'm taking, obviously, a ton of recoil damage. That's why my health pool is so low, so I'm at 6% here. So this fight finished at 240 hits, so we went from 325 to 240 hits. So that is still significant increase, not quite as big as King Groot had with his Synergy team, but still it's like 80 hits knocked off, 85, so that's a, yeah, very, very significant damage increase if you have help of full Synergy team. But obviously that's not a realistic situation, because Hood has never been that good of a champion to warrant kind of like fully synergizing up. Now after buff, he has his bullet mechanic back, where level 2s, every hit on level 2 and your medium attacks basically use up a bullet, and it places a passive on opponent. Now these bullets deal damage when they expire after 12 seconds, and every time you apply a new bullet, you refresh those passives. When you use your heavy attack, you can detonate those bullets with doubled amount of damage, which is exactly how you want to detonate them always. So the plan is basically keep stacking them up, do not let them expire by themselves, and whenever you have decided that it will be enough, drop a heavy attack and it's going to deal significant amount of damage. Now, initially, I realized that it's relatively straightforward and easy to maintain your bullet count if you finish combos with light attacks, and you only use a single bullet per combo. Then it's very easy. You can see that at this point I have 21 bullets loaded, I have 23 in the chamber, and I'm keeping on top of it. Now, since I know that I can keep up a healthy amount of bullets in a generic circumstances where opponents do not get any buffs and stuff like that, that is extremely reassuring, by the way. That makes me like the champion a lot more. Now, continuing to that, I'm going to be starting to load my bullets a bit more aggressively in order to obviously try and maximize my damage output. And we are building them up. At this point, I have 34 bullets used up. Another thing how you can recharge your bullets is if you stagger or nullify a buff from the opponent, you gain 2 bullets immediately. So any buff heavy matchups, you will never have to worry about running out of bullets. Or alternatively, every time you miss a hit, basically you gain a bullet back once that invisibility expires. So in average matchup, that is exactly how you refresh your bullets. You just let opponent, basically hit you and miss you and phase you. Invisibility also works slightly different. Previously it had a flat 45% chance, and let's just rewind this one. Previously it had flat 45% chance to basically have opponent miss, and 90% on projectiles. Now we have 120% chance to miss, and every hit reduces it by 20. So first 2 hits are guaranteed, and the next one has 80% chance, and so on and so forth. But you can effectively use Hood kind of like as a mini ghost as well. Take a look at the damage one more time. So that was with 154,000 damage with 52 bullets loaded. That's not too bad for a 6-star rank 1. Obviously, I still need to finish off this fight, and at this point I'm nearly out of bullets, so I kind of need to be a bit more careful. I probably could have played this better. Obviously, I'm not an expert when it comes to using Hood still yet. I most likely should have just kept loading my bullets for a while longer and then detonate them. But I think as a first kind of like fight showcase, it didn't go too bad, and we are still significantly ahead. Remember, it used like 325 hits to finish this fight. So basically there, I'm just going to load up some bullets, detonate them, load up some bullets, detonate them. So here we have like 11 bullets. I think I detonated and lost a couple more. So here we go. 208 hits. So we went from 325 to 208. Realistically, you can probably finish it at around 180 hits or so. So that is genuinely decent damage increase. I think it is good enough damage increase to make Hood more attractive option. Not necessarily, obviously, your go-to option for everything, but he's definitely much more viable now. And I will look forward to testing him a lot more, because I did enjoy him. Now, I have synergized this guy up to the gills once again, so I have Invisible Woman synergy that lets me gain power whenever I'm phasing. I have Strife synergy that gives me 50% attack increase. I have Kingpin that extends my invisibility by 25%, letting me phase longer. Actually, I don't think it's that beneficial at the moment, but I still get a significant attack increase whilst I'm invisible. And then, most importantly, now Hood has a synergy with like Mallman, Mojo, I think King Groot, and a few other champions, where every time you knock down the opponent, you load 3 bullets. And obviously you don't want excessively heavy attack whilst you're building up your bullets on opponent, but every time you drop a level 2, you gain additional 3 bullets, and that makes it significantly easier to upkeep the amount of bullets you have loaded in your chamber at all times, again, even if opponent doesn't have any buffs. So Hood, quite curiously, with that one synergy, doesn't really lose any damage output against champions that do not have buffs. And that is something I really do like in a Mystic champion. That is something I definitely do like. And right now we can see that I'm just spamming my special attacks, even whilst Winter Soldier doesn't really want to attack me, which is kind of annoying at times. But we can see that I'm building up my attack quite quickly. So I have 60 bullets loaded here at this point. We are 100 hits in the fight. And I just want him to use those level 2s, but he just refuses to. Now, this heavy attack phasing was a bit risky. I should have avoided it. I played carelessly. We can see that I'm reloading bullets at a very decent pace now. I am trying to expel most of them as quickly as possible in order to be able to do as much damage as possible. In a regular circumstance, I'd probably be playing a bit more safe. But still, here we can see we have 77 bullets, and we're about to see some nice detonation in a moment. So we have 80 of them. He's at 56%, and we have 80 bullets. Now, I do want to activate my invisibility before I detonate them, just gain extra attack and stuff. So let's go. Here we go, 270. Once again, let's get back to it. So let's just check it out. Let's just check it out. 275,000 damage from 86 bullets. And that's a 6-star rank 1. And again, obviously, the fight in itself still took 153 hits. And Venom Pool's fully synergized up was able to do this fight like 100 hits as a 5-star rank 3. So he doesn't have the greatest damage output. He does not. He can do excellent burst amount, but building it up still takes time. So 153. And King Groot with a full synergy team was quicker. And Venom Pool with the full synergy team was quicker. But for a champion that has quite a lot of amazing mystic qualities, as in like excellent buff control and access to some debuffs and phasing and stuff like that, I do think that Hood is worth keeping an eye out for. Now, we're going to see probably a ton of people blast that, oh my god, you detonated for 300,000 damage, stuff like that in thumbnails. But I repeat, that is not the reason to kind of like and or love Hood. His damage is alright. Not insanely amazing. But I do think that it is good enough to let Hood shine for that super reliable Fate Seal, ability accuracy reduction on that Fate Seal, and his ability to phase, just like Ghost, and find openings that way. And don't forget that Hood is extremely important synergy partner for champions like Ghost and Kingpin and a few others. So yeah, I do think overall that the Hood's buff, well, I do think that it makes Hood good enough to be a reasonable, rational option for a lot of stuff. And his kind of like relationship with top champions in game will definitely let him get on your team to begin with. So a lot of people probably will end up ranking up Hood just because he's kind of like coming along often enough as is. And now he's definitely good enough to earn those catalysts back. That's what I think. Let me know what you think, guys, and I'm gonna catch you guys soon. See ya. Hello there, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about